You'll be cropping some of your photos for this assignment. Some of your objects may not be in the rule of thirds, so you want to crop so that you can get to the objects in the rule of thirds. We're also going to try to tell a visual story by changing the composition. When you're done taking photos, click the X in the top left corner, and then you'll be in the LR camera photos. The top photos are the last photos you took. They are usually your best photos because you're trying different things. You're getting close to the objects. You're getting weird angles. If you look at the first photos on the bottom down here, they're not as dynamic. So let's go back to the top. We'll start by clicking the first photo on the top left. We're up close and personal to that fork in the front. And then we have a fork in the back that's smaller and further away because of the perspective. This is a really cool shot. It has really good rule of thirds in it too. This shot is not as good because we have lots of negative space on the bottom right. But let's see what else we have. This one is like this photo here, but it's pulled back a little bit. And I like it. This is interesting. The forks are touching each other on the heads of the forks, giving kind of movement. So I'm really digging this one. This is interesting. The long handle of the fork and then the intersection of the other fork going horizontally across. It's interesting. This shot is showing the room on the top right. We would be able to manipulate this in Photoshop and get rid of that. But I'm looking at the objects and how they're laid out. It might not be a successful shot once we fix that area in the top right. Let's go to the next one. Ooh, I'm really liking this one. That blurred out angle of the handle on the fork coming at us, and then the other fork on the left side top. The tops of the fork heads are crisscrossing. This is a great one. Let's see the next one. So this one's the same as this one, but this one here, the utensils are higher and they're filling up the design. And this one, the utensils are lower. Not feeling it on this one. Let's go to the next one. Now you can turn your camera to portrait format, which is vertical shot. This is a great shot if we could put some copy on the bottom right and make this an advertisement maybe. Let's see the next one. There's rule of thirds being used, but it's kind of boring. So we're getting to the first photos that we took during the session, and these aren't as dynamic. So that's how you edit photos. You go through them one by one, and you check to see if you think they look successful or not. You can see it in the contrast, the emphasis, the movement, the rule of thirds. And then the last thing is your gut. Check your gut. Look at that image and ask yourself, is this a successful shot? If you can't tell by yourself, check with your instructor. You could also check with your peers. You could also show your photos to your friends, your spouse, your parents, and see what they think. I'm back to this photo again. I want to show you how to crop a photo. On the right side is the crop tool. Let's click on that. Click on one of the corners. I'm going to click on the bottom right, and I'm going to click and drag up. I'm going to look at the crosshairs of the rule of thirds. This looks like a good crop right there. But I'm going to go in closer and see what else I can get. So that might look interesting, but once you go this small with a crop, it's going to start pixelating because you didn't initially shoot it that way. And if you try to crop it like that, you'll see all the blur and pixelization going on here. See that? You'll need to retake that shot so you can have everything nice and crystal clear. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to do it again. Click on the crop tool and drag it up. And we're going to go with what we had before the first time. Something like right there. When you're all done, press the done button on the bottom right. And that's a better crop now using the rule of thirds. Now click the arrow on the top left to go back to all of your photos. Now, if you want to select multiple photos to share to your computer, click the top right 3 circles. Click Select Photos. Select the ones that you want to send to your computer. On the bottom, you'll see the Share button. Click that Share button, and then click Share To. The photos are rendering. This might take a couple seconds. And then share that to your computer. And then press Done on the top right. The photos should be on your computer, and you can choose which ones you want to post to the discussion, and then answer the questions that are associated with the discussion about your photos.